Everyone wants to know the same thing right now. Where's the Sacramento real estate market headed in 2026? And I'm going to give you the most honest answer I can, based on 30 years of watching this market move through cycles, not based on wishful thinking or headlines. I'm Doug Grace, associate broker with eXp Realty in Sacramento. Over 1,000 transactions in this market. Here's my 2026 forecast. And let me start where we are right now, because you can't forecast where you're going without understanding where you're at. Sacramento inventory is up. Homes are sitting longer than they were 18 months ago, and price reductions are more common. Mortgage rates, well, they pulled back from their peak, but still keeping a significant number of buyers on the sidelines. And that's the honest picture heading into 2026. Now let's talk about what I think happens next. First, interest rates. This is the variable that controls everything else in the market right now. The Federal Reserve has been signaling rate reductions, and most economists expect mortgage rates to drift lower through 2026. Not dramatically, though. We're not going back to the 3%. But a move from 6.5 towards 5.5 or even 5% would bring a significant wave of buyers back into the market. Buyers who've been sitting on the sidelines waiting for their moment. That matters enormously for Sacramento. Second, inventory. Sacramento has been building inventory for the past year. More choices for buyers, more competition for sellers. But here's what I've learned over 30 years. Inventory levels in Sacramento are cyclical. As rates drop and demand increases, that inventory gets absorbed. We could see inventory tighten again in the second half of 2026 if rates move meaningfully lower. Sellers who wait for that moment will face more competition from other sellers doing the exact same thing. Third, price trajectory. I don't see a dramatic price correction coming in Sacramento. Here's why. The fundamentals are still solid. Sacramento continues to attract Bay Area buyers seeking affordability. Remote work hasn't gone away. People can live in Sacramento and work for San Francisco companies. Infrastructure investment continues. Population is growing. These are conditions that produce a crash. What I do expect is continued flat to modest appreciation in the first half of 2026, followed by a potential pickup in the second half if rates cooperate. Fourth, neighborhood divergence. This is something most forecasts miss. Sacramento is not one market, it's 20 markets. In 2026, I expect strong neighborhoods like Elk Grove, Folsom, and Midtown to outperform. Areas with less differentiated housing stock and weaker school infrastructure will continue to struggle. Where you buy in 2026 matters as much as when you buy. Fifth, the spring window. Every year, Sacramento has a spring selling season that outperforms the rest of the year. Historically, March through June produces more transactions, stronger prices, and faster sales than any other period. I expect that to hold true in 2026. Buyers who move in the next 60 to 90 days will be ahead of the spring competition. Sellers who list before the spring rush will have less competition on that market. So, what does all this mean for you specifically? If you're a buyer, 2026 is a year of opportunity, especially in the first half. You have negotiating power right now that you won't have if rates drop and demand surges. The buyers who look back on 2026 5 years from now will be glad they moved when others were hesitating. If you're a seller, price it right from day one. The market will reward well-priced, well-presented homes in 2026. It will punish overpriced homes with longer days on market and eventual price reductions. The data on this is consistent across every market cycle I've watched. If you're an investor, watch the rate environment closely. A meaningful rate drop in 2026 is the signal that Sacramento's next appreciation cycle is beginning. Investors who are positioned before this happens will capture the most upside. The bottom line on Sacramento in 2026, this is not a market to fear. It's a market that rewards strategy, preparation, and honest advice. The same things that have always separated successful real estate decisions from regrettable ones. I put together a free Sacramento neighborhood comparison guide that breaks down exactly which areas I'd focus on as a buyer or investor in 2026. It covers 15 neighborhoods, price ranges, days on market, school ratings, and my honest assessment of each. It's free. Link is in the description below. Drop your questions in the comments. I read everything. I'm Doug Grace, and I'll see you in the next one.